Hello everybody, lovely to see you. Now, with whom can we share all of this? Share with 66 people for some reason. And here we are. As you can see, this is a beautiful breakfast of mine. Have here berries, strawberries, apples, kiwi fruit, Captain Delchon, and we have the beautiful sun. And here, let's have a fruit eclipse. Are you ready? There's our fruit, and there's the eclipse. And now our fruit comes back. Absolutely beautiful. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the two worlds. In one world, based upon 99.99% of every single news outlet, yum, I love mango as well. Not kiwi. Kiwi is actually a Chinese fruit, but they call it kiwi for some reason. So here are the two worlds. Let's talk about the first world. Well, world A. Are you a New Zealand bro? Nah, I'm close. Used to be one country at one point, huh? New Zealand. New Zealand and Australia all under one protectorate. And then they split. So, let's talk about the first world. First world is that Arpaio was a criminal who set up concentration camps for Latinos. And this president decides conveniently during a hurricane to pardon someone who ran a concentration camp, which shows that they're both Nazis and hate judges. That is one version. That may or may not be true. I'm not here to decide that right now. The second version is that Arpaio was sentenced criminally for violating a federal order to cease detaining Pavlova. I reckon it was Pavlov who invented the Pavlova. For illegally violating a federal order to detain, to cease detaining illegal immigrants. And so that would make him, to those who believe that version, a hero. And so him being pardoned is an example. And there you go. So, which version is correct? I'll tell you which version is correct. They're both correct. They are both correct depending upon the view that you have on what exactly cyanide and I once again intellectually intertwine. They're both correct. And that's why America still has these problems, and why it will continue, and why it's going to get worse now. I reckon there's going to be a call to arms. There's going to be people who want war over this. They're going to be even more adamant to remove the Trump ideology, or the supporters who support that belief or have that view of American culture. They want to erase it from history. It'll in turn strengthen the other side. The thing is, if you realize they're both true, it actually relaxes you. Prior to Trump admin, well, all of that is all partially true. That's the point. The point is they're all partially true, right? So you see a lot of people who think they're intelligent who are saying Trump is a racist, Trump is this, perception is reality, and reality is perception. I've only learned this recently. So that's why I'm really relaxed about it. These berries are amazing, by the way. They're really good. I'm saving the kiwi till last because I actually like kiwi the least, which I didn't realize. I thought I liked it more than I liked apples. Clearly I was wrong. So Arpaio broke the law, right? Now, the question is not that you have good taste. The question is not whether he broke the law, because that's why a lot of people here are saying that Arpaio was a hero. Now, it's actually partially true. It's actually partially true that he was a hero, but it's also partially true that he was a criminal. They're both true, but that's the whole point of a hero. Like, a hero to someone is someone else's criminal. Alexander the Great to the Greeks was Alexander the Cursed to the Persians. He upheld the law. It depends what you mean by law. So, for example, if you believe that he was doing the right thing, then 100% he upheld the law. But he also broke the law that Obama put in place, or Obama's administration put in place, right? Now, well, actually, I don't know whether they actually put it in place, but they enforced it, right? So, yeah. So if you, not you personally, but if someone believes that what law was in place is correct, hello, pull their heads out. If they believe that that law was correctly in place, then Arpaio broke the law. Now, it depends, as I said, on whether you believe that law was just. Now we're getting into the proper conversation. The proper conversation is, do you believe that law was just? Now, that's a completely different question to whether he broke the law, right? So on the surface, right, he broke the law, right? There was a law and he broke it. Okay, yes, exactly. So the real argument is whether that law was just. And if we can turn the argument to that, then that would help possibly reduce the impending pressure, or the pressure that's pushing forward this almost impending civil war. Because here's the question. The law was just. See, par for the course says the law that was put in place to stop Arpaio from detaining illegal immigrants was just. An idea of justice. Exactly. And here is the problem. The problem is, and I'm not arguing either side here, right? I completely understand both sides. Both sides, no. Okay. So here's the question, right? Now, let's follow this carefully. Let's follow this carefully. Let's take the side of the Trump supporter for now, right? Because the reason I take the side of the Trump supporter is because most people are already taking the side of the other side. Trigger. Excuse me while I bite this apple and prepare to blow everyone's mind. Ah, awesome. 3 now. We're upgrading. All right. So let's take the side of the Trump supporter, right? So according to the Trump supporter, and this is, to me, this is a legitimate viewpoint, okay? This part here is a legitimate viewpoint. Joe Arpaio, at age of 18, goes and fights in the Korean War, right? Comes back, dedicates his life to protecting America from people who want to come in illegally. This is their view, right? I'm not saying this is my view. I'm saying this is what I believe their view is to the best that I can put it. Okay? So he's a great guy. He's a hero. He stood for Trump the whole way when everyone was against him. He refused to back down from his principles. He always upheld, you know, American culture as far as what Trump supporters believe that to be. And I'm not saying that's illegitimate. Once again, I'm just quoting it, right? And then there was a law that was passed at some point in or around Obama's administration, right, that prevented him from doing his job, right? Like I said, prevented him from doing his job. But he loved the country so much, right? Once again, I keep saying this for new people coming in. This is not my view. I'm saying this is as best as possible I can build the Trump's view, right? He loved this country so much, according to the one part of American culture, that he was willing to go against this unjust law, right, to keep America safe. And for that, he was indicted and found guilty. Now, have I got that right, roughly, for the Trump supporters here? Have I done a fair job of that, would you say? Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right, cool. Thank you. All right. This is where you're going to get screwed. And this is what I like to do. I like to build up your argument and then show you how it'll get screwed. All right.
If you allow someone to override the law because they believe they're doing the right thing, then it means that the lady who refused to implement Trump's initial ban on immigration right at the beginning was also correct and should not have lost her job. Unless you believe that your version of justice is better than her version of justice. Discussing Joe, yeah. So I don't know who's going to get what I just said. So I'll just go over it again. What I did, so many think their version of just is better. And here is the problem. But he didn't break the law, he upheld the law, but yes, I got it, you see? That is the problem. So it's annoying. The problem, that's exactly right, you see? And this is why I love irrational. I love irrational. The goal is to build up your opponent's argument and then show them where it's flawed. Then USA definition of justice. This is not mine. I'm not saying, see, the thing is, I don't disagree. I don't think it's illegitimate. That view that I just gave of the Trump supporters, I actually think that's a very valid point. I'm actually not against that point, yeah. But that point causes an additional problem, a Socratic problem. Exactly. Obama's law was unconstitutional. Now, that may be true. Let's say it was unconstitutional. We don't know, right? It might have been, right? Like that argument has not yet gone through the courts or gone through the public opinion. All right. Can you do the same thing in reverse? Okay, let's do the same thing in reverse. Well, the reverse is easier because everyone else has been talking about it. So here is the other side. The other side is that America had a law. The law is that you stop detaining these people trying to come into America to get a better way of life. Okay? There are people coming in trying to get a better way of life, and the laws that were placed before our administration, being their administration, right? Stopping dark people from coming into the country, stopping people who were not white Christian Trump supporters, right? These laws were unjust, and they were deliberately put there to stop these genuine immigrants from coming in to try to get another life. Now, once again, now you can see the other side get triggered. So once again, I'm not saying this is my view. What I'm arguing is the other side as best as I can. Okay. So, you know, Obama's administration and we as the people are growing up. We're becoming we're becoming more mature as a people. We are realizing that we have to give everyone a fair go, and not just these supposed people like these Trump supporters who've had it good, right? Okay. Right. So we introduce a law to stop these concentration camp type people like Arpaio. Once again, not my view. Okay. It is a view. I actually agree with both sides, actually, because I feel like they're both partially true. Anyway. So we stopped him. We got the law, we used the law, and we were able to stop him from committing his actions of bringing people in, of stopping people from coming in who need to have a chance to become Americans, right? It's not like the white people are reproducing anyway, right? So once again, these are the arguments that I'm trying to build up as best as I can, right? There was a law. The law was put in. It was legitimately passed, right? And this guy is so racist, so wants his concentration camps, so doesn't want to get... Well, you can tell me, if you're on that side, you can tell me, right? He deliberately violated the American federal law, right, for his own agenda, okay? And and for that reason, he deserved to be criminally prosecuted. And indeed, he was prosecuted and convicted. So therefore, he was guilty of breaking the law. Yes, that's right. Once again, this is not the complete truth. This is in the mind of the loony left. Well, I'm rainbow, lol. The tattoos nullify skin tone. Yeah, that's true. All right. Yeah, exactly. So then, you know, this part of America, this part of America that hates how America's progressing and moving forward to turn it into, you know, a generally cosmopolitan place, a place that's progressive, a place that's open to everyone, not just white Christians, for example. Right? These people deliberately went triggered. Everyone's getting triggered, right? You cannot have, right? Sorry, these these people went and elected this fake president, right? Right? Yeah. Who then went and overrode, American law to pardon a criminal, right? Now, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is the argument on one side. Now, the point is, if you can't accept that argument, you cannot defeat that argument. This is my point. This is exactly my point, and this is why I have the irrational channel. And this is why people are having the shirts, Who Made America Great, Whites. Okay, here we go. Now everyone's triggered. So the point is, they are both partially true. Yes, someone is a hero because they broke the law that you believe is unjust. But if you don't believe it's unjust, then he broke the law and he's a criminal, and Trump did what was unjust. Now, I'm being very careful about this. No, you're supposed to disagree. That's fine, because you've probably... There is no truth to the argument of fake president. Yeah, but you see, here's the thing. When you say that he was legitimately elected, I agree with this. I agree that he was legitimately elected. So, first of all, everyone, let's relax. So, I agree he was legitimately elected, right? But if you think... Exactly, that's exactly right. If you think... Oh, that's pretty big of you guys, actually. If you think that Trump was legitimately elected, then you also must concede... I'm wrong, but I've supported both sides. I'm not agreeing with either side. I like you too. All right. If you agree that Trump was legitimately elected, which I do, I agree with that. But then you must also agree that Arpaio was legitimately found guilty. The question is, what makes you decide that one was legitimate and one was not legitimate? Now, this is where only the irrationals will not become irrational. The sitting on the fence tactic. No, not at all. It's actually standing outside the farm, and then you can see all different lands and the fences. I'm wrong. What am I wrong about? I haven't actually argued one particular side yet. It's not about what anyone thinks, it's the law. It's a very interesting point. So, as I've said before, thank you. As I've said before, I actually think the Trump side argument is legitimate. And I also think the other side is legitimate. I think they both have a degree of legitimacy, but they are incomplete. They are incomplete pictures. And the reason I submit that they are incomplete is that half of America... You're very handsome. Oh, thank you. Was Trump's travel legitimately shot down? Correct, it was not. I agree with you. You Apache, how are you? Trump is a Seco man. Cool. I'm Apache, all right. Sometimes I get white, sometimes I get Arab, sometimes I get Apache. It's pretty cool. From their benches. This is also true. How is the Trump's incomplete? It's incomplete because if you assume that Arpaio was a hero, and I actually agree with you that from your perspective, Arpaio was a hero. I completely agree that from the Trump perspective, Arpaio was a hero. So if I viewed the world that way, I would 100% agree he was a hero. The problem is that if you step outside of that, right? If you step outside of that situation, then you can see that objectively, change the names. It doesn't matter who it was. It doesn't matter his motivation for doing what he believed was right. He broke the law, right? Yeah, I actually don't, I'm not limited to one perspective. When you hop from both sides, you start to realize that they both have legitimacy. Are you thinking also that Trump is a alien? I don't know what that means. This kiwi fruit's really good. Oh, why thank you, Teen Anal. Because you know, your name is the epitome of intellect. Yeah, kiwis are good. I love kiwis and kiwis. Yes, see, the thing is, now Trump supporters are saying, for example, that Joe upheld the law when Obama refused. That's actually true if you believe that the law is bigger than the law that was imposed by the government. Now, you can say that it's everyone else's fault. See, this is, some people are getting massively triggered, so they start insulting and all that stuff, and they're not hearing. They actually think, like, it's really funny, because if you look at the comments, you'll see some people think I'm against Trump, and some people think I'm against the people who are against Trump. Sorry, the people who are, yeah, that's right. You said that I was triggered. Obama has never changed. You rock. Thank you. You should have your own show. Thank you. See, now some people say that Obama is against the USA. Now that may or may not be true, because you're defining what you think the USA is, or what you believe it to be, and you have every right to do that. You have every right. You are USA citizens. So as citizens, if you say this is how you believe the USA, right? Right? If you believe that. Now here's my argument, right? Now that we got stuck on this thing. Yeah. Logan's the man. All right. So here is the point. The problem that I see is not this small situation. The problem is that there are two huge, oh, thank you. Yeah. They're from one of the girls that I'm currently shagging. So thank you. Yeah, no, but that's completely normal. This shows that the problem's inherent in humanity as opposed to. So what's happening is that people are getting stuck on this particular situation. Now most people will, that's fine, right? What the what the true issue here is that there are two camps, like selectively, like, yeah, let's just say from the outside. Teen Anal. No, it's all right. Teen Anal's concerned with being a pedophile, and so really doesn't have much room in their brain for advanced intellect. But that's fine. I mean, it's great to have everyone's opinions here. I'm not any. I don't see the world that way. I don't see the world as in sides. I don't take a side, because I feel like some of our exclusive irrationals here, I feel that standing out of the argument, you see how both sides both have points and both sides are ridiculous, and we all do this as humans. I'm not saying this as someone who's better or worse or anything. Like when I have my own problems, like that I can't step away from, right? I just become blinded, and I'm like, and you've seen it. If you go to my YouTube video, people have done wrong things to me, and I get really upset, right? Right? But this one is not my fight, and because it's not my fight, I can step back and just say, okay, well, I can see that side. I can see that side. There's a real problem underneath this. The real problem, and I'm going to say it now. The real problem is that there are two Americas, both believing that their one is the correct one, irrespective of which side puts in what law. Oh, thank you, Teen Anal. I appreciate that. before you became demented. Sorry, Wiki. Tina Anal and I have always had these. The only thing is, I am not in love with children or anals or teens, anything like that. It's not really my thing. The real problem. Yeah, the real problem is that there are two camps in this supposed country that have a belief of what America should be and are willing to go to any length. Am I wearing a burqa? Yeah, I took it off this girl and I'm wearing it as a trophy. Yeah. So obviously, people who know me know I have a bias, but I don't care about my bias. What I care about, and especially in this situation, it's actually quite easy because I'm away from it. You will die for it. Exactly. No, that's cool. That's cool. So anyway, that's my point. My point is just that. My point is that there really are two Americans that really believe that they have a better view. And as long, what happens is that each side caricatures the other side based upon their worst elements. So, for example, you guys know me, you know my position, right? And you know that despite my position, I absolutely despise the Stalinists, the communists, the white nationalists, and all those extremists, right? You guys know that. So I might have a natural bias. My worst element is Mercury. So what's our takeaway? What's our takeaway? Our takeaway is that irrespective of you being convinced that you're right, and maybe you are 100% right, which is unlikely. You're probably 90% or 80% right, but because there's a bigger picture. But let's say you're 100% right, and your arguments are fine. Your arguments are completely fine that I've said. We've gone through this, right? But that does not change the fact that half the country sees the country in a completely different way. Yeah. 65%. So, yeah, and so Tinano has a passive-aggressive type of being triggered, which is a sign of a... Sooner gone is thinking ahead. You should think about who's next in line. So here's I guess, I enjoy your scripts. Thank you so much, Logan, man. I love you being here. It's great. It's nice to see islands of irrationals within the irrational. Anyway, so here's the thing. I love all you guys, man. Honestly, those who say they're against Trump, those who say they're for Trump. Hello. I love all you guys from outside. From outside, I love all you guys because what's funny is that if you switch the subjects, it's actually the same thing. You're both fighting for what you believe is right. Now, one of you might be wrong in what you believe. Cool. Right? That's not the point. The point is that both sides are fighting for what they believe is correct. Okay? Now, maybe, to do that, people are they're breaking the law to do that because they believe what they're doing is correct. And the point is that both sides have done it. If you believe that Trump's America is the correct America, logic and facts are on our side. Well, logic and facts are based upon presuppositions. But as long as one side believes that they are on the right and the other one's in the wrong, you will keep having this problem, ruining your history. I would submit that your history is already ruined. It's ruined by the fact that, I'll give you an example. You block the anal lover. No one is screwing up your statues, yeah. I'll give you another example, and I'm going to give you an example that's nothing to do with America because this will calm everyone down. All right? This will bring all the irrationals back to being irrational. Okay. History is subjective. That's why it's called his story. Anyway, let me give you an example, right? All right, I'll bring you back down. So, I'll go back to my favorite country, my father's homeland, Lebanon. The path they take, they have similar endgame. I would say, yeah. Well, all right, so let's jump back to this. I'm going to go back to Lebanon because Lebanon is a nothing to know anybody. It's my love. I know about it, right? In 1893, Lebanon was 80% Judeo-Christian. The winner writes the history, that's true. So Lebanon was Judeo-Christian in 1893. Right? Now, in 1975, the war started because the left and the radical Islamists, you've been to Jordan? Yeah. The left and the radical Islamists united against the Judeo-Christian majority, right? So then the Jews left, and then the Christians left, and then it devolved into whatever it devolved into. Now, the argument, by the time I was a kid in the 80s and 90s, the argument was that we as in like the Maronites should not have let in the Muslim immigrants and the Palestinian Muslim immigrants. That was their argument. Okay. Now, obviously, you can see right now that there is a bit of a parallel here. Okay. And have you noticed the comments have calmed down? So people have calmed down. Okay. Now you say that's the truth. Okay. I go further than that. What I say, is that they already lost in 1893 when they started the country with only 79% Judeo-Christian. For a minute. That's where they lost. They didn't lose 50 years later when they were only 60% of the population, right? And the fake leftists and the communists and Stalinists then united with the radical Islamists and started killing good Muslims and liberals like me and freaking conservatives, right? That's not where they lost. That's where you think it lost. So I come back to America, right? Actually, no, I'm not going to come back to America yet because I don't want to re-trigger everyone yet. The problem was they had a minority in the 1900s, and they treated them as lesser equals, right? And that was not deliberate. It was not. I don't think it was deliberate. You missed the trivia. Oh, you have to rewatch it. Yet. I don't think it was deliberate that the Judeo-Christian majority in Lebanon treated its radical Islamists minority and its communists badly, deliberately. I don't think it was deliberate. What I think, though, is that they really felt that this was our country and you have to abide by our laws, right? And if you don't abide by our laws, then there's something wrong with you, okay? Now, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, that's how I think. Okay. Now, that may or may not be true, but look where it got us. The point is, right? Yeah. Look where it got us. When you act like that, and you have every right to act like that. So the Maronites had every right to say, this is our country. It's a Christian country, right? If you don't want to act like us, then bad luck. Okay? But what happened? Well, the minority said, well, F you. As soon as we have our chance, we're going to take you down. And so, 70 years later, they had their chance and they took the country down. So now, there is no such thing as a Christian country of Lebanon, even though the president by law has to be a Christian. It's all in name, right? Passion rules reason. Yeah. So this is the same thing that I see in America, right? From outside, from my limited view. Okay, I say that if one believes, thank you very much, Logan. Likewise, my friend. If one believes that they have the correct America on their side, just using Newtonian laws, you are going to create the equal and opposite reaction against you. So you can still have that view, but there's got to be another way to solve the problem. Anyway. I think that's all I have to say. So does anyone have any comments? By the way, if you can handle the triggering, then I would recommend you subscribe to our new channel on Periscope called iRational. iRational. Letter I with rational. Because you can either be irrational or irrational, my friends. Anyway. Yeah. Irrational. So that was very interesting. That was exhausting, actually. I've got to go now and type up this letter for my other stuff. Who you owing Sisk? Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks to you guys. No need for the thanks. You just thank yourselves. I'm a nothing. I'm just some guy who freaking sits back and stirs the pot. Bring it on. Yard filming until you panned over. Yeah, bit of a difference. Epic break from the fight talk. Yeah. All right. No other questions. Cool. I will. Likewise, Cyanide. I do enjoy jumping into your scopes and having an awesome laugh. Very witty your scopes. Lol. Alright. Irrational always win. Very nice. Patriots. Alright guys, Team Irrational. That's cool. Well, good luck. Now after this discussion, you can go back and rip apart your enemies. Go forth, my brothers and sisters. Alright guys. See ya.